Hello there, welcome to my review of the Rockford Files Season 5, Episode 18, A Material Difference, written by Rogers Turrentine and directed by William Wyatt. The episode begins at the East German Embassy, where someone is watching a film of Angel acting like a hitman. At the end of this candid footage, we get a cameo from Jim, even mentioning his name.
Is there a Rockford here? Telephone.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
And the viewers of this footage are very interested in the whereabouts of Angel Martin.
Найди его.
У него слишком много имен.
Ну, тогда найди его друга. Как его зовут?
We then cut to a Washington DC harbour where an American spy, our Columbo connection, Michael Maguire, playing Barnard, is meeting with a woman who was at that special screening. Finally, we cut to Jim as he's harassed by some Mormons or religious types who happen to be packing heat and looking for Angel. Apparently they used to be much more aggressive with their recruiting in the 1970s. Jim fights them off and immediately goes to where Angel is, finding him also packing and with a wad of cash. Angel explains his brilliant con, pretending to be a hitman, taking the money, then not doing the job. Except he's only done it once, and already has people looking for him. It hadn't occurred to Angel until now that his scheme had these kind of flaws. So they track down the intended target, a dry cleaner named Kramer, only for Angel to see a body on the floor of his shop and keep this quiet, which gives someone else the idea to pin the murder on Jim and Angel.
I got a real good look at one of the men, and I even saw the getaway car.
A couple of sharp-suited goons show up looking for a formula that everyone is keen on and are scared off by the police presence.
I don't want to go back without that formula.
Why don't you check the police band, see what we can pick up?
This is a brilliant opening that immediately sets Angel up to be in trouble thanks to his own stupidity, that ropes Jim in a believable way. While Jim and Angel make a pit stop, Angel tries to split, but Jim's not one to fall for that trick, and Angel finally tells him about the murdered body he saw. As Jim attempts to turn Angel in to give his side of the story, he hears that they're both wanted for said murder, so he comes up with a new plan on the fly, and seems to have finally come to the end of his tether with Angel and his antics.
Ridiculous lies and games year after year.
We then cut to Barnard, who is naval intelligence, going through Dennis's mugshots and picking out Angel, which Chapman is delighted to hear.
Listen, if you'd like me to handle this, I'd be more than happy to take it off your hands.
And when Jim calls in, attempts to trace the call. But Jim is onto it, so they head to Rocky's while the suited goons head to Jim's trailer. Angel wants to collect the bounty for the hit he didn't do, and Jim wants to use this as an opportunity to catch the man who hired Angel, chasing after them when they try to tie up all of their loose ends. Unfortunately, the crooks get away, but have left Jim with a clue, a letter which details that they knew exactly who they were dealing with, despite Angel using the clever alias of Mr. Jones. The suited goons track Rocky down just as Jim and Angel get back, so Jim uses a ruse to get them to leave, with dozens of pairs of Rocky's jeans.
These jeans in the bedroom. Some of them look new. What do you think we're to do?
Let's run them through the lab just in case.
Jim is as confused as we are about why they took all but 2 pairs of Rocky's jeans. He can't put it together, but the fact that the pairs that they left were both Bronkbuster brand may be a clue, as Barnard finds a Bronkbuster business card in the dry cleaner's possessions. Jim then checks out another clue, at a church. Maybe the religious goons really were members of the congregation.
If you'll wait right here,
I'll see if I can find the address. Maybe we could come to some agreement.
Jim gets the goon's address from the church, and it turns out to be a dentist's office. Or rather, a Soviet safe house made to look like a dentist's office. So far, this episode has been very fast-paced, with enough information given to be intriguing without getting confusing. And while it's a little convenient that these Soviet agents have been shockingly lax with their subterfuge, turning up at gyms with their real names on their badges that tie them to the safe house, and with Angel's hit customers using a pamphlet from the same church as a substitute for money, it's so much fun that you really don't mind. Plus, I don't think it's that hard to believe that even trained sleeper agents would make silly mistakes like this. It's often silly mistakes that lead to people being caught. Unfortunately, Jim and Angel are the ones that get caught, and the goons plan to give Angel the Marathon Man treatment to reveal where the formula is, which he of course has absolutely no idea about. Jim manages to knock out the power just before Angel gets the drill, and they split, finally having enough information for Jim to put everything together, eventually. He and Angel head to Bronkbuster Jeans, where they spot the suited goons, and follow them to a meeting in a warehouse, finding out that, as Jim theorised, Kramer is still alive, and had faked his own death in order to get the KGB off his back while he defected. He's there at the meeting with the Bronkbuster Jeans guys, but while Jim is calling the cops, Angel gets himself caught. Luckily, naval intelligence show up just in time, and Jim saves Angel. But by the time they get to the KGB dentists, the offices have been cleared, and Barnard wants the whole thing covered up.
Why don't you let me write the press release? I'm considered very good at it.
I really can't let that happen, Doug.
He is willing to reveal to Jim that the whole thing was about a formula for a new type of denim. Soviet denim that outperformed American denim, which the Navy wanted a piece of for their sailors' workwear. The whole affair was about dungarees, which annoys Angel to no end.
You mean I risked my life for some lousy blue jeans? I thought at least be for a missile component.
This is a fantastic episode, even if credibility is a little stretched in a few places. The pace is relentless as Jim and Angel are on the lam, pursued by the KGB, naval intelligence, and, as we discover, a jeans manufacturer. And the way it manages not to reveal too much as it goes along is pitched just right. You feel like they're never going to wrap up this mystery in time, but they really manage it, and it feels earned. The comedy is also pitched just right, with Jim getting just annoyed enough with Angel's antics, and Angel being just the right amount of annoying to get himself in the greatest amount of trouble. It's also partially based on truth. There was a huge trade in black market jeans in Soviet-controlled East Germany that the USSR genuinely saw as a threat to communism, particularly Levi's, and the GDR did go so far as to produce their own jeans as competition, which was so bad that they then purchased Levi's en masse to sell to their citizens rather than have them smuggled in. This episode is so much fun that this one is an easy 5 out of 5 for me. Thank you. Goodbye.